we investigated the impact of participants' expectations on their acceptance and willingness to comply with a service robot during an everyday conflict. The robot used two possible strategies that human delivery staff would use. Service robots are expected to be submissive servants, following our rules and obey our commands. This affects their behavior and their way to communicate with us. Previous research has shown that people expect service robots to communicate politely and behave submissively. These expectations impact how we see robots, as submissive servants instead of equals, which creates a power asymmetry. When service robots enter our daily lives, conflicts between humans and robots can occur. These can concern conflicting goals or competing for resources, such as an elevator ride. Based on the power asymmetry expectations, people would expect the service robot to wait. If the robot were to meet this expectation every time, it would lead to inefficiencies in daily tasks and could be dangerous if it delayed urgent deliveries, such as medication. Therefore, we investigated the impact of participants' expectations on their acceptance and willingness to comply with a service robot during an everyday conflict. In our scenario, the participant wants to take a small, one-person elevator because of heavy shopping. The delivery robot also needs to take the elevator to deliver food. Both are under time pressure. Who is allowed to go first? We also investigated different verbal strategies that humans would use in such a situation for the robot to gain priority over the elevator acceptably. We manipulated three variables in our study. Participants evaluated a humanoid delivery robot primed as either submissive or assertive. The assertive robot is expected to go first into the elevator, the submissive robot is expected to wait for the next ride. The expectations could then either be met or not by the robot behavior, which was also either submissive or assertive, either go first into the elevator or wait for the next ride. The robot used two possible strategies that human delivery staff would use: appealing for priority by politely asking, "Would you please let me go first?" or assertively commanding for priority, "Let me go first." Additionally, as explanations of the request increased the willingness to help, the robot explained its goal: "I have to deliver the food before it gets cold." We had 6 experimental conditions which were a combination of the three variables. One condition is now shown exemplary, where the robot is primed to be assertive, uses a polite verbal request and goes into the elevator first. The following stimuli for verbal requests were used.
Hello. Could you please let me go first into the elevator? I urgently have to deliver the food before it gets cold. Let me go first into the elevator. I urgently have to deliver the food before it gets cold.
We measured the intention to comply with a binary choice. The participants then either saw a video that matched their choice or not. The robot then either entered the elevator first, which resulted in real-life waiting times, or the robot let the participant go first. After they saw the video, acceptance, politeness, trust, power, and reactance were measured with additional questionnaires, as well as whether participants would expect, accept, and behave the same way with a human interaction partner. We highlight the most interesting results of the polite appeal and the participants' intention to comply based on what kind of robot they expected. The left bar represents the status quo in our society of expecting submissive robots which wait. The middle bar represents the opposite of the current status by expecting service robots to be assertive and take priority. The right bar represents what would happen if we would introduce assertive robots to a society that does not expect them to be submissive, a clash of expectations that has negative consequences for its effectiveness. We found that if the robot entered the elevator first, this was only effective if participants expected to interact with an assertive robot. If they expected a submissive robot, the expectation mismatch led to lower compliance rates. To summarize, the study showed the large impact expectations have on individuals' willingness to grant service robots priority. If individuals expected service robots to be assertive, they could be more effective if they politely ask for priority. However, as currently, the majority do not expect robots to be assertive, the study showed the need for a mindset change about the social status of service robots in our society. Do we want to stick to the idea of submissive servants? Or do we maybe need to treat them as our equals for them to be efficient? This could be especially relevant if they fulfill tasks with human responsibilities like delivering important items. This paper hopes to spark discussions about the social status of service robots in our society and the ethical boundaries for assertive robots.